Randall Hughes with God Glorified, commenting on our reading for today for December the 20th. And if there was one theme that I see overlying in the 5 chapters that we read through in Titus and 1 Peter chapters 1 and 2, it is holiness. And so verse 1 of Titus, that truth that is after godliness. Somehow, God, help us to be godly, help us to follow after and to do what is right. And many of the things, so it gave the bishop's qualifications, and it's many of those things. And then verses 10 and 11, it talked about those that are unruly, vain, and deceivers, and especially of them of the circumcision. In other words, he's pointing out that there's that are trying to force circumcision on New Testament believers, which was wrong and is the condemned work of one of the condemned works, that in obeying the law. But yet repeatedly he speaks of doing works, for they profess that they know God, and in works they deny him, being reprobate and disobedient or abominable and to every good work. And so, and then Titus 2, holiness, verse 3, and being sober-minded and zealous of good works, or showing good pattern of good works, verse 7, and the grace of God that bringeth salvation hath appeared to all. The testimony of God's goodness is in the world, and so it's up to us to respond to it. Lord, let your grace work in me. Help me to learn as you teach. Help me to deny ungodliness. Help me to deny worldly lust and to live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world as we look for the return of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ. And we're zealous of good works, once again. In chapter 3, verse 1, every good work ready. And but yet it's not the works of righteousness that saves us. It's through his washing, which he had to shed his blood so that we can be washed. And that then made the Spirit available for us to be able to receive, verses 4 and 5. And so some amazing verses there in the book of Titus, that we're careful to maintain good works, verse 8. And verse 14, once again, learn to maintain good works for necessary use. We want to be fruitful. God help us. And then in Peter, once again, sanctification, obedience, undefiled are terms that we want to be a part of our lives. The angels wanted to look into our salvation. God did not make a way for them, those that are fallen. But for us, we can be obedient children, to be sober once again and have the mind of Christ and seek to follow after him, to be obeying, verse 22, and to be born again, verse 23. And then that we are a royal priesthood, a holy nation, in chapter 2, verse 9 and 10. We were not a people, but now we are the people of God because of his mercy, his grace, his work in our life. And so we are just trusting in him to complete the work that he has started as we prepare our hearts for his return. God bless you.